This is the sound of protest on the other side of the world. That's because the people of Myanmar are objecting to what they feel is an attack on democracy. Myanmar is in Asia and it's one of the most eastern countries on earth. It used to be called Burma. In 1962, the military there took power and formed a dictatorship, which is when one person or a small group has all the power in a country. People living in dictatorships often have less freedom and worse living conditions. In 1988, the Burmese people wanted democracy, which is when everyone has a say in the running of a country. Around 5,000 people were killed when they protested, but it brought about change in the country. And the face of change was a woman called Aung San Suu Kyi. She set up the National League for Democracy Party, or NLD, and since then, the power has flip-flopped between them and the military-backed Union Solidarity and Development Association, or USDA. Miss Suu Kyi was praised worldwide for her peaceful fight for democracy and won a Nobel Peace Prize for her work. She was arrested and detained 3 times by the military and lived under house arrest for many years. She was also given the freedom of the city of Dublin in 2000. In 2015, she led her NLD party to a huge victory in Myanmar's first open election in 25 years. However, her international reputation was damaged when she defended army actions in 2017 against a minority group in Myanmar called the Rohingya Muslims. Thousands died and 700,000 fled to Bangladesh after surviving attacks by troops backed by local Buddhist mobs who burned their villages. The army was accused of genocide at the International Court of Justice in 2019. Genocide means the deliberate destruction of an ethnic, cultural or political group. Aung San Suu Kyi defended the army, saying the situation was misleading. Now she is no longer seen as a human rights defender, and the freedom of the city of Dublin was also taken away from her. Protests have broken out again in Myanmar, with essential workers like teachers and those in the healthcare system striking. But why? Well, after Aung San Suu Kyi's NLD won another landslide election this year, their government was overthrown at the beginning of the month in a military coup. That's when power is taken from a government, suddenly, violently and illegally. Unlike here, the military in Myanmar is independent from government, meaning they do not serve the NLD and actually oppose them. They say that the recent election was rigged, despite no evidence of this. World leaders have condemned the coup.
Burmese military should relinquish power they have seized, release the advocates and activists and officials they have detained.
Aung San Suu Kyi was arrested again by the military along with other leaders for civil disobedience in opposition. Protests began peacefully with pot banging and the wearing of red ribbons, but have since turned more violent. In retaliation, the military and police have turned water cannons on protesters. NLD took 86% of the seats in the election, so the majority of the public want to see them in power. And as for the Rohingya people, they say that they want to return home to Myanmar, but don't feel safe doing so while the military are in control.